welcome to SPADS episode 12, Dave, not 13. Joined once again by the full crew. Mr. Smith is back after his recent illness. How you feeling, Kev?
All good.
Good.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. Klopp, form has been poor. For some reason, he does not seem to get any criticism whatsoever. Why do we think that is? And do we think he's to blame?
Money in the bank. If put Pep in this situation, put Pep at 11th. What do they say? Pep out? No. You bring a trophy to a club, you get money in the bank.
But he hasn't brought one this season.
Well, no, but you've got to give him a season, haven't you? Give him a shit season. If he does the same again next season, ta-da.
100%. You know, you're not a bad manager overnight, are you? You know, is there problems within the team?
We'll find out next season.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm right for a change, and it'll be fine. You know, it's just a poor season, and I'm keep jogging this table. And he'll be all right. He'll be fine.
But why is he not getting any criticism? Why aren't? And I'll give you an example. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in his last season, Klopp has almost a worse record than that Solskjaer had at the time that he was sacked. He was crucified for ages, way before he was sacked. Obviously because he was poor, right? So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that it wasn't the right decision, because it was. But there's absolutely nobody that seems to be pointing any blame at him for what's happening.
Klopp, likeable character. Solskjaer, boring.
Yeah, but Klopp has to look at Liverpool's situation. They're trying to sell the club.
Yeah.
They don't want to get rid of him because he's a massive asset for someone who wants to buy it.
100%.
So they're probably just keeping it a bit quiet.
But don't you think he should be doing better?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, it should be doing a lot.
It's got to be down to. Let's be honest. He's got to take some of the blame. To be fair, like you say, his persona, he does give it away. Like, as soon as really some managers want to bring their players out and stuff, he just literally flips it on the journalist, doesn't he? Like, he does that sort of. It's quite clever, but he has to take some of the blame, because to me, he seems to get a little bit too much credit when it's going right. He is one of the best managers in the world, and don't get me wrong, he's one of the best. But it seems to me that it's either the board or it's the players. That's what seems to happen. It's like, come on. Like,
all right, you don't become a bad manager overnight. So what's the problem? If it's not Klopp, then don't say tired.
But it is him.
I just think I think the midfield legs have gone. The midfield needs an overhaul. And
so then why didn't you buy one in January?
Because
what
again,
did Mane go for?
He's not midfield.
You love a Mane.
Yeah, Mane's not midfield.
You've been banging that agenda for weeks.
He's a great player, Mane, but he wouldn't help out the side what we've got the problem now. You know, he's not going to sit there in centre midfield and stop, you know, all the attacking force from the other side while the wing backs go forward. Why we didn't buy in January? Is it, you know, we've got the marquee signings in the bag hopefully for the summer, and they can't afford it.
Do you not think though? There seems to be there was a few Liverpool fans coming on TalkSport today, and there seems to be this big thing about, right, we'll get to the summer, we'll get that midfield sorted, and that's it, click the things. I actually think they're just assuming that Jude Bellingham and one other midfield is going to sort the whole thing. I think there's, like, your defence, because let's be honest, Van Dijk hasn't been great.
He hasn't been great, but again,
Gomez is just finished.
Oh, Gomez, I've never rated.
Yeah,
he's got a mistake every game. But again, with the midfield, it's exactly the same as Man United. You brought Casemiro in, he's shored up the midfield. One player has improved your midfield and defence.
Correct, but the manager that didn't bring in a midfielder got sacked.
Yeah. See?
What manager got sacked?
Solskjaer didn't bring in a midfielder in. No. Crucified didn't bring in. He got sacked. Yeah, for the same sort of form that Klopp has.
But what has Solskjaer won previously for Man United, other than players for his player? You know, as a managerial career,
Klopp's
he won nothing. So Klopp has got form to win things. Solskjaer has got no form for winning things. He is.
You only get form from time.
Yeah, exactly. Hence why Liverpool's still staying with Klopp.
You could say the same about Solskjaer. Give him a bit more time.
Yeah, but Man United didn't want to give the time. Man United are too worried about figures, you know, money. You know, Liverpool, yeah, we'd love some more money, but are they like, well, no, we'll keep him.
We'll just stop wasting the money you are spending.
So if Chelsea was in the same position, would everyone, do you think, be calling and criticising more Potter? Potter went on a couple of games we didn't win, and everyone was saying he's going to be getting out.
Yeah.
But where Klopp was performing worse than that, so no one said a word to him.
But is that just the fan, you know, the board, the fan mentality?
It's money in the
fan. They want.
It's the journalism as well. The media crucified everybody else, but don't seem to crucify Klopp.
Because he's a likeable guy.
Yeah, but surely it's not. Solskjaer was likeable. Just boring.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why the media didn't.
How far, right?
Boring doesn't sell stories, does it?
No,
So next season, right? Say you get Jude Bellingham, right? Which I'd be very surprised if you don't get him now, because I think it's done.
Does he want to come to a mid-table side?
Yeah, but I think he's still young enough.
He's got a brain in his head.
But the thing
he
is,
knows
right,
the football philosophy.
say you go and get your couple of midfielders or whatever you get,
Yep.
right? Say you get to know just before January and you're not near that top four. Do you think then you start to think, hold on a second, we've got our midfield, or what do you say? I know we still need that extra couple of players. I mean, how far in, say you get your midfield sorted, which he does need sorting, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
But I think too much is being put on just that midfield. Like, it's just the midfield thing.
But it is. I think it is, because the way the defence play, they play a very high line.
Yeah.
So they need that midfield to close down the opposition midfield to stop the balls coming over the top.
Yeah.
They're not doing it because they haven't got the legs.
Yeah.
So the defence are then dropping back a that little bit deeper. They haven't got the confidence of doing. So it's a different way of their playing, which they're not wanting to. They want to be playing a higher line.
Yeah.
Like I said, Casemiro brought stability. Unless you're strangling someone,
it weren't that.
Don't forget Casemiro. This is Casemiro, who was slagged by every other person because he was too old.
I never slagged him.
Years old,
I never slagged him off.
Too old. Panic buy from Man United.
Yeah.
I think
what are you doing buying a 30-year-old?
It was all the same people slagging off Thiago Silva.
Klopp.
Yeah, and Thiago Silva and Martinez and that. All the same people saying, they're either too small or
too old.
Yeah.
But Klopp, I've got confidence. There's a lot of things being compared to Dortmund, etc. and stuff. And he did have a 7-year problem at Dortmund, but
I think that's just coincidence, isn't it? I don't think there's anything.
Correlation doesn't equal causation.
Different.
And look, talking honestly, do I think Liverpool should keep Klopp? 100%. I think he's a brilliant manager. Yeah. What I'm really surprised at is, like I say, the media attention for him. Everyone seems to be giving him a pass. Okay, he's won things before. So's other managers. It doesn't make any difference. It didn't save Jose Mourinho. It didn't save anyone that's ever managed at Chelsea. It hasn't saved anyone else. I just find it really interesting. Just to give the thing, in the last 10 games in all competitions, you've won 3, drawn 2, and lost 5. Okay, you've scored 12 and you've conceded 18, but 7 of those were scored in 2022. So you've only scored 5 goals in all competitions in 7 games in 2003. Now, the thing that always gets bandied about, everyone says, we're 11 points from 4th. It's not that bad. And that is true.
But they're closer to relegation.
You're also 11 points from relegation.
Yep.
Now, that is an unbelievable stat. You're 11 points from relegation.
Yeah.
And that, for Liverpool, this is mental, isn't
this
it?
time of the season is scary. But, you've got to have faith. You believe that it will get better.
Yeah. And you've got to stand by your manager.
Where do you think you end up, Dave, this season?
8th is what
8th. Yeah, 7th, 8th.
You and Chelsea, similar sort of position, do you reckon?
Yeah. Unless we go on some amazing run from now and win every single game until the end of the season. No.
Even if you do, you've got so many teams around you doing well.
Yeah. He didn't let me finish.
Above you as well.
Yeah, and everyone else loses, we'll win the league.
Or if you go on and lose, everyone else wins, you'll get relegated.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Which it could happen, but I just hope not. But then, it'd be quite nice going to championship grounds.
Just rolling it forward, another thing. So, okay, let's say we give him the benefit of the doubt this season because he's won stuff, which is interesting point of view in terms of because he's won stuff, you put stuff in the bank, which I kind of agree with. How long does that buy him? So let's say you roll into next season. Next season, you're 6th, 5th, 7th. What happens then?
Again, depending on how the team are playing. If they're playing really well and everyone else around us are playing really well, then you can't really go, well, you've won, say after 12 games, you're 7th, but you've won 9 and lost 3. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's not bad.
Sure.
And around you, teams might be like, well, after the same amount of games, they've won 10, lost 2. So if it's close, you don't mind too much. But if it's the same margin which is now,
playing bad,
so it's only got to be the same margin. So even if it was a little bit better, maybe you won 5 out of 10.
But the way we're playing, playing is awful.
So you're going to be happy if there's no trophies bought for 3 seasons, but you're playing well.
Yeah.
And you stick with Klopp.
I'll stick with Klopp.
I'm not sure all the Liverpool fans.
I want to see my team play entertaining, attacking football. Okay, lovely to see them win things, but if they're playing good football, I'm enjoying watching the good football.
If they're there or thereabouts, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they'll all see it that way.
It'll be a real test for him now. It'll be interesting to see whether he comes through this period.
Do you not think the only way Klopp goes is if he walks? He will now get sacked.
Potentially, but it will be interesting to see. This is the first time the team have really come under fire, because since he's come on, for the first few seasons when he built up, everyone's saying progressing. It's always been positive. It's always been positive.
And last time they had their run, they had the injuries to key players, so it's sort of like look,
they've always got
and you've got to remember they're at the top, weren't they?
Yeah.
Fighting for every competition.
And that's the thing. We've probably,
there's only one way they can go, and that's
maybe
down,
slightly overachieved like last season.
Yeah, and that's
well, he was saying, like, there was mentions, are you the best team ever in the Premier League and stuff, and it's like, you wouldn't think that now, though, would you?
No.
Last season, though, when that was happening, you think, well, they're in everything.
Yeah, we don't need to cheat to do it, do we?
Well,
we'll come on to that. So it's interesting. No, it could be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, and it will be interesting to see whether he comes through.
But again, I think with the media-wise, I think, is it because there's been other managers a lot worse off, like Frank, Brendan Rodgers, and they've taken the limelight away.
Do you not think, though, like, I know Jose always used to like the little drama, but how Klopp used to be down the touchline and stuff, he could run on the pitch and get away. If Jose did that, it was literally the opposite. He was, he needs to be banned. He's like, and it was like, hold on a second.
You're seeing that with Arteta now. So now Arteta's getting a thing. See, every other there's no other top 6 team that would be getting away with what Klopp's getting away with from the media. There's none other. No other manager. I don't care what they'd have won. I don't care if they'd have won it last season. There is no other top 6 side.
I think
if the manager was where they are,
Pep would get away with it, I think.
Yeah, potentially. But even them, I think they're turning. I mean, you've already seen them turn on Haaland and stuff like that. He scored 30-odd goals and people are already starting.
But I saw a good stat, though. Haaland scored 25 goals, whatever, in the league. But Man City have only scored the same amount of goals if they did last season.
They're no better off, are they?
They're no better off in goals. They've conceded more. So the goals isn't
It just looks better because it's one person. It's grabbing the eye.
They need to sort out their defence.
Yeah, absolutely. Liverpool, you're talking about.
yeah, absolutely.
Talking of obviously Man City, so big news this week about the FFP, financial fair play. Obviously, they've been hit with other sanctions or an investigation. Over 100 breaches over a 9-year period from 2009 to 2018. Obviously, they have been banned before 2 years, didn't they? And a 30.
That was by UEFA, though.
That was by UEFA, because they have breached UEFA FFP rules as well, which is why they got that ban originally, but it was overturned by the Court of Arbitration.
Yeah, because what they said that time, the reason why they got it overturned is because they said, well, you've taken it was too long ago.
Time barred, and
that's what they said, but obviously this is completely
so Premier League don't have time barred, so i.e. they can go back as far as they like to be able to pull this back in. What do we think of it? I mean, first of all, what do we think is going to happen? Do we think it's very similar to Conor Ben and think it's going to be a process that drags on? This has been going on for 5 years as it is. So it's not being solved this season.
They'll pay him off.
Right,
they can't do that.
There's a 4-year investigation that's taken place. This is now out. This is on basically in the Premier League's hands. Is it?
Yeah.
They've obviously got to deal with however they deal with it, get their lawyers in or whatever.
Free panel, isn't there?
It's a hearing. It's done in private, though, so you won't know the result until after.
I can't see the rest of the Premier League teams letting this drop.
No. Well, apparently it was
100 breaches is a horrendous.
Wasn't it the other Premier League team said, well, if you've got this, you need to do it now. And they said, deal with it.
Yeah.
Just,
like the top 6.
Do you think 50 of them got binned off?
Yeah.
There's still 50.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a lot.
And they did.
And what they said, irrefutable evidence.
And they stopped. Man City stopped with the communications with the old investigation. Since 2018 or something.
Yes, they haven't disclosed everything.
They said, we don't need to.
Yeah, like a regular.
They're cheats.
Yeah. So interestingly, though. So there's different things that can happen. They can be expelled from the league, which is never going to happen.
Well,
they can take all the trophies off them also.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen
because they don't look backwards. I'm not being funny. You don't look back. They won't fine them. I mean, what's the point of fining them?
I think they will fine them, but
there'll be points.
It'll be points deduction
over a few seasons.
Yeah, but it won't be this season, will it?
No, I mean,
it could be this season. Depends.
It won't happen.
It shouldn't happen. It should happen.
It won't
get settled this season.
No,
it's got to start
a couple of years
at a season. Full points deduction at the start of the season, no matter what. Don't matter how many it is. If it's 30 points, it's the same if they go. Clubs go into administration. They get taken off that same amount of points, no matter what. At the start of the season, job done.
Let's go full relegate them to think. I'd love to see Pep in League 2.
Yeah, but
it'd be gone when they straight away.
But the thing is as well, the lower leagues don't have to accept them.
No,
they can refuse to have them in their league.
Yeah.
So they might go, sod this then. I'll go and set up my super.
Haaland in the Stoke on a wet night.
No one can do that.
Interestingly, though, in terms of the only thing I think is different this time, and I think why they might be in trouble, is when this has gone on before, Pep's never really said anything, said I've trust the club.
Bit different, though, isn't it?
This one's he said, if they've lied to me, I'll go. Now that's
Didn't he say that last time?
I don't think he said that last time. I think he was like, I believe the club.
Yeah.
But this time is when he says, if they've lied to me, I'll go.
We
Now
won't
that's
be
a
friends.
change of language.
I thought I thought he said that last time, and they've just reiterated what he said.
I don't know.
I thought
it was
this time they were saying that he basically said, "With my friend, that's it," and it was a bit different. Like you say, it seems to be a bit
a
different.
bit of a language change.
Yeah.
There's always a problem with the language barrier, isn't it? They sometimes will say something different, and we think, oh, that's what they mean, but then it's not. It's something.
Yeah, it's just interesting though. He's already sort of like half distanced himself from it, which is interesting. If it is rehashed from before, then he's still going to be. There's still going to be mentioned.
How aware was he of this? Do you know what I mean?
Well, do you know how it all come about? So 5 years ago, when this investigation started, the whole thing that brought this off, a German paper hacked the emails.
Yeah.
Right, so he hacked the emails and has found this out and then reported it to UEFA, and then UEFA did the investigation, that sort of thing. So we wouldn't even know about this if some German journalist hadn't hacked Man City's emails.
There was I don't know if it was Kieran Maguire, who's very good on the business side of the football, and he said about a year and a half ago, because when Man City have got to the high of the earnings, and is it Deloitte or Delot, what they're called, with all the earnings of the, he said,
where does he play?
No, for Man City to get like with the earnings to
Chelsea
get
want to buy him.
Don't matter how much they've won. He said for them to get in front of Man United, Liverpool, and Real Madrid that have got this history.
Yeah,
he said it's impossible because half of these sponsors they've got have got no office and no staff, but they've suddenly paid a £20 million shirt deal.
Yeah,
he said it's incredible, but what can we do? But Matt Lawton is the reporter for I think Independent that does a lot of all these stories. He said they're worried. Yeah, because
I think they could.
Yeah, just the amount.
4 years of investigation. Yeah. They're not going to do that without
knowing their stuff.
Corrupt.
Football is corrupt. All sports.
How do you feel as non-Man City fans if they have cheated in, say, only one of them becomes true? What do you want to see done?
You got to take points off them.
Points.
Yeah.
Say,
right. So if it turns out to be 100, all of them are true, then what?
Still points because money.
How many?
I reckon if they found guilty, we should all go down there and we should be able to dismantle the stadium between us.
But they don't own that.
To take a piece home.
It's got to be points, 30 points,
it's got to be one season. I think it's got to be over a few.
No, 30 points, one season.
But I don't think that would affect them.
Yeah, because it's not going to relegate.
No.
You don't know. Because,
they might have a season like Liverpool.
Yeah.
No, I don't think...
no one can ever see that.
It might be funny. 30 points over one season would not affect... Yes, they won't win the league and get into Europe, but something like 15
they get 90 points or 80 points, they'll be...
over a certain amount of seasons.
That doesn't affect them because it's not like money's a problem.
Yeah. No.
But it is a problem because the only reason they've got the money is by cheating. As in, they've got all these...
Allegedly. They haven't been proven.
But they've only got all these superstars, etc. and stuff by breaking rules.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, but they've got the money to break the rules. That money's not going anywhere, is it?
Yeah, but they can't do it by not breaking the rules.
This is why they've been...
They're not as intelligent as Chelsea by the looks of things, are they? Because Chelsea...
Well, I can say, they must be like that. They must be... Chelsea must be shredding stuff left, right.
How many other tins is this going to open? And is there other clubs going, we're in trouble here?
But Chelsea have signed 15 players and they've just brought 30
let's be honest, let's be honest though, Chelsea haven't broke the rules yet because they haven't changed.
Yeah, that's it.
No,
They
exactly what I mean.
Yeah. But we don't know. I don't know how they've been...
We need to hack their email.
Yeah. Anyone good at hacking emails?
I bet Germany's Wi-Fi network's dead at this.
Okay, well, so we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I think it'll be drawn out. Hopefully we see them punished if they are proven to be found guilty. We have our next SPADS caller of the week. We didn't have one last week because we forgot. But we have got one this week. We've
Very
got,
well organised, aren't we?
Who we got this week?
Got Stu this week. He's a Spurs fan.
Stu, a Spurs fan. Big result, helping Arsenal to the title earlier on. Did you want to get him on the phone, Lee?
SPADS caller of the week.
Stu, it's Kevin. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. You can hear us all loudly and clear because we've got all four of us running through one phone. So I'm assuming you can hear us all.
All good. Long time listener, first time caller.
Good man.
It can't be that long. No, look, appreciate you coming on and giving us your time to give us your views. So obviously you're a massive Spurs fan. Big result for you the other day.
Yeah, typical to our season and just generally being a Spurs fan. I think losing the games you think you're going to win and winning the games you think you're going to lose. I mean, look, we had the stats behind us. They've never scored at the new stadium. They've never beaten us at the new stadium. So that probably helps psychologically, I guess. I mean, the weirdest thing for me about the game is that that's probably the first time you could honestly say that was kind of Conte ball. It was the first time we've actually done what a manager probably tries to get us to do all season. Now, what makes it even weirder and typical that Leeds asked me to come and do this and it happened the way it did, but Conte's not there. And
it's funny, isn't it? Conte's not there and you do what he wants you to do.
What's that?
It's Conte's not there and you actually do what you want him to do.
It's just so weird. I mean, perhaps the lads all went like, look, the gaffer's not too well. Let's not give him any aggro this week and just do what he's told us to do. But I don't know. It's weird. I mean, what's
your view of Conte, Stu, so far this in terms of Spurs? So obviously we talked about Spurs a couple of weeks ago about just seemed a bit weird. Conte just seemed to be a little bit off the ball. Didn't seem to be doing what you'd expect Conte to do. But it does seem to be a slight turnaround now. And how do you feel as a Spurs fan what he's doing and how the team's progressing under him?
I mean, look, it's one game. I think if we played like that all season, although we had our best start in terms of points, before Christmas, best start to a season for us. I think, it's difficult. I think having this one game is a good sort of pivot point now for us to kind of leap off of and move forward if we continue playing the same way. But you've got to hope that the team stay fit and all the rest of it. I just think Conte's doing a good job. I mean, if you look at where we were even 7 years ago, and I don't want to get into the whole Enick and Levy thing. A lot of Spurs fans will want to do that, but I think ultimately, we've got a great stadium, we've got a great foundation as a club now to kind of build off of, and we're doing lots of things that we should be doing, and we just keep falling down at the last hurdle with kind of winning something, winning a trophy, winning a cup, losing to Liverpool in the Champions League final.
Epic.
All these things have happened over the past few years, and it's frustrating as a fan. But like I said, if you look back sort of 7 years ago and compare 7 years ago to today, it's a massive contrast. And I think for me personally, sort of Enick and Levy have done a good job in that respect.
Yeah.
They made bad choices at times, but Conte is a good manager. No one can doubt his record, but he does, in my opinion, have a track record of coming into a club, spending a lot of money, and then kind of leaving it with a lot of old players.
Do you not think that's with some of the Spurs fans? Obviously, I know quite a few of them, sadly. But do you not think sometimes Spurs fans seem to forget that? Because I've got a Spurs fan that forgets that you've got an amazing stadium, you've got an amazing training ground facilities, and they seem to sort of think, oh, you don't spend the money, but you did spend like 100 million in the summer. Yes, every fan wants more money spent at their club, but it just feels like, yes, Conte's there and we always expect him to spend, but I think kind of need to think, look at what happened to Arsenal when they bought their stadium. That's it. They were selling players every season, and it took them 10 years. I don't think it will take that for Spurs, but I just think sometimes the Spurs fans forget where you've just basically said, look at where we are now, and you sort of accepting it. Yes, Conte does do these things of spending a bit of money, but you're not exactly 10th, are you? Do you know what I mean? You're what are you, 5th? So
there's a bigger picture, isn't there? You've got to look at everything. Like you said, the stadium, all the money they've spent, and still spent on the transfer market.
Yeah.
Obviously not hundreds of millions, but they've done what they can, and they're still there or thereabouts, aren't they? So
and potentially helps their rivals win the league.
Yeah. Stu, what does a good season look for you at the end of this season? What would you hope for a Spurs fan? End of the season, you go, yeah, do you know what? Happy with what we've done this season. What would you expect? What does a good season look like to you?
If you asked me that at the start of the season, I would have just said, well, top 4 finish and probably winning a cup is what I'd like to achieve. Just winning something, I guess, but definitely top 4. But I think this season's so weird for lots of reasons, not just because of the break for the World Cup, but I think you've got 2 teams in the top 4 at the minute that arguably wouldn't normally be there. I don't mean historically, but in terms of the last few seasons, Newcastle and Arsenal have basically traded places with Chelsea and Liverpool. And if someone had said to you, "Oh, you'll be in the top." You'll be in the top 6 at this point in the season, and Liverpool and Chelsea will be behind you. You'd be like, hang on a minute, what's going on there? That ain't going to happen. It's such a weird one. But yeah, I think for now, I think it's a Man City Arsenal race for the title, and I think Man City have got the pedigree and the experience, if they stay in the league, that is.
I think they're right this season. The other seasons might be difficult. But
to go on, I think they're going a good run, and I think it'll be tight towards the end. There'll be a couple of relegation teams that are sort of fighting for points, and that'll cause a trip here and
Liverpool,
there.
one of them.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'll take top 4. I think Newcastle will be thereabouts. Man United as well.
Would you be happy with top 6, Stu? Do you think top 6? Would you be happy with top 6? If you got top 6, you'd be like, okay, it's not great, but we're okay with that.
As long as you're not in that Europa Conference League or whatever it is.
Exactly. That just kills teams because you play on a Thursday, you get less break time in the week before your next game, and it just kills clubs and doesn't bring much in. Obviously, if you want it, you take it. Obviously, but,
sure, yeah. Absolutely.
When Mourinho won it at United, he kind of I'm sure Lee, as a United fan as well, you're well happy to have won it. But
it's like the charity shield. It's like the charity shield, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you win it, it's great. If you don't, it's a Mickey Mouse tournament. No one takes any notice of it. But no, Stu.
I mean, look, there could be another upset in the season. We might have another. Sort of like a Brighton, who've got 2 games in hand on us. If they win both those games, I think they go a point above us. From memory.
You don't know how the situation at City is going to affect them either. They might just fall away.
No, it could galvanise them, could affect them, couldn't it? You just don't know. You got Leicester at the weekend, obviously away to Leicester. I'm guessing that's a nailed-on win for you, hopefully, although they did win.
I don't know. They beat Villa, didn't they? 4-2.
Yeah. So. They're such a weird team for us. I mean, if you go back, was it the last season? I think it was last season when we were losing. Was it 2-3? No, I think it was 3-1, and then we came back. Bergwijn scored 2 in the last 8 minutes, and it was 4-3 in the end. I think we've had a weird history of Leicester where we have just a lot of goals scored, but obviously they're very up and down this season, less consistent than they have been previously. So I'm hoping for a win, but they're on the back of a good win.
So are you, though, isn't it? You want to build on that good result, aren't you? So I suppose it's.
And do you know what? It's a funny one. I'll tell you what else was interesting. That we just spent 45 million quid really on Porro, who sat on the bench, and that was probably a 45 million pound kick up the backside for
Emerson Royale, weren't he?
I
couldn't believe that. I watched him. I was like, "Where's this player come from?" It's mad.
Yeah, Grealish. He had good control over Grealish most of the game. I mean, Grealish was their best player, and that's saying something. When Royale did what
he had him rattled, didn't he? To be fair, they were bickering, didn't they? Yeah. But he had the hand. Roy. That's the best I've seen him play. To be fair, he was. I'm trying to cough.
And it was. I'll tell you what else is weird. We're seeing sort of Højbjerg move into this sort of attacking central midfield role almost, and Dyer steps forward into a central defensive midfield role and sort of exposes us to the back of it. But because we put that press on at the front. It made City think about it. I know they're not as great at the back at the minute. They've lost obviously Cancelo and they look a bit ropey here and there at points. But yeah, it was just a weird tactic to see, which we haven't done all season. Right? You think we do that against like a Bournemouth or someone to kind of get a good few goals and keep the goal difference looking strong. But
quick question:
against City was
Does Harry Kane go in the summer?
Well, I know you want him to because everyone's talking about him going to United. But
I'd love him there.
Do you know what? I think I'm not speaking on behalf of all Spurs fans, but most people I know who are Spurs fans would say, look, he's our top goal scorer now. He's done amazing stuff for us. He deserves to go somewhere else and win something. No one wants to see him stay at Spurs and not win anything. I mean, yes, he's got the all-time goal scorer record, but
you'd wave him goodbye with a heavy heart, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no one wants to see him go. I've watched him play since he was sort of in the youth team almost. Under 21 games and watch him progress through England and Spurs, and I think it's one of those things where everyone loves him when he's in an England shirt, and when you're playing against him at club level, everyone hates him because he's always going to pop up and score, and he's a world class player, no doubt. But I'm sad to see him go, but I think if he did go and he went away and won something, I think we'd all be happy for him.
Well, I hope to see him in a United shirt soon, Stu.
He won't win anything there.
Yeah. Stu, I really appreciate you coming on and giving us your time, buddy. We're definitely going to get you back on again. We really appreciate your input. I think you're a very level-headed Spurs fan, so I think you're great.
Which is not normal.
Yeah, which is not normal. I really appreciate it, mate, and we'll catch up with you some other time, yeah?
All right, lads. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Stu.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Yeah, so it's an interesting one for Spurs, isn't it? Because it's kind of a weird season for them in terms of it's hard to get a gauge of whether they're doing well or not.
You've got to look at they're fifth in the league.
Yeah.
They're not. Yeah,
Not been playing well.
I think too much gets made if they draw or they lose a game. Too much gets made of it, and then you go, hold on a second, let's just chill out.
Yeah.
Because I think the thing is as well, they did spend like 120 mil on their players. Unfortunately, the players they brought, you thought, do you know what? Basuma, all these players, you thought, actually, it's not bad. But unfortunately, not really done that great.
Basuma's not kicked on, has he?
Unfortunately, and I thought when they got him, because they got him like at the beginning, didn't they? And everyone was like, you got him for like 30 million.
Good
Well,
still.
it's not really done it. But Højbjerg seems to pop up now and play really well. Like, I like him. He's a good player.
sign,
Very
yeah,
underrated.
good sign for the
but,
views,
yeah.
But it's, so obviously a couple of weeks ago we were talking about sort of what was going on, concept. But when you look at it, it's not as bad as you think.
Do you think it was because they kept conceding early
It
goals?
was that. Yeah, it was losing.
Always losing at half time and then dragging it back, so it makes them look they're not playing
But then
very
I
well.
think it comes back to Conte. It's a bit drama. Is it theatrical?
Yeah.
He's the side. He's always moving around and stuff. And I think that takes the hit. It's
boring football as well.
Yeah.
But I think they're going around quite quietly as well. They just sort of
Italian
just
manager,
slipping along and
boring football.
And he,
no
and he looks like a
major stories coming
lizard.
out, is it?
He looks like a lizard, doesn't he? He looks like a lizard, man. Fixtures coming up this week. Tomorrow night, we're filming this on Tuesday. Tomorrow night it's Wednesday. Man United Leeds. Boys, what do you think?
Well, God knows, because no one knows what's going on at Leeds. It's all a bit of
No
a mess.
manager Leads,
Are they just going to?
He had to go,
Are
though,
they
didn't he?
going to bounce back from not having a manager?
but they've got no manager.
Well, they got
But
our
again,
ex-coach.
they
didn't
might just go. He might just go out and play, boys.
Yeah,
Go out and play.
enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Beat these Mancs.
So it's Premier League tomorrow and then FA Cup at the weekend against Leeds, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it FA Cup?
Yeah, we have got twice.
Yeah, we've got
No, it's
4
Premier
days.
League.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's Premier League tomorrow.
Is it not Premier League that weekend as well?
Premier League.
No,
They're gonna play-
It's Premier League.
It's 2 games in a row. So
Yeah.
one's
Leeds.
FA Cup and one's Premier League. Isn't
No,
it?
they're
Not
both
next
Premier-
weekend.
Huh?
The weekend comes Premier League.
Yeah,
Right. So what's tomorrow then?
that's
Tomorrow's
Premier
Premier
League
League as well.
They're both
Is it?
Premier League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, Smithy.
Yeah, they're both Premier
1
League.
week off and look at you.
Yeah, so you've got. I know that because I printed the Premier League fixtures here, and they're on both times. Yeah, so you got Man United. Back to back to.
Can you edit that out, please?
No.
So obviously Man United Leeds. You got West Ham and Chelsea. Interesting game.
Yeah.
Chelsea. I'm assuming we'll probably run through that. Do you think?
Well, West Ham looked half decent against
You just
Newcastle.
don't know with Chelsea, do you?
No.
No.
What Chelsea's going to turn
Depends
up?
which 75 players he decides.
Yeah, it depends if they're playing the A, the B, the C, the D, or the E, or the F team.
Depends which coach turns up.
Arsenal Brentford. That's an interesting game. Obviously, Arsenal back-to-back losses now with the City and
Brentford fly.
Test now, isn't it, for
who-
Arsenal?
Spurs.
Yeah, Spurs.
Just talking
No,
about
Spurs.
Yeah, they just City just lost to
No,
It's
Everton.
Arsenal.
Everton. Yeah.
Pipe down.
Come on,
Pipe
Dave.
down.
All right.
Come on,
Sorry,
Dave. You've been here
just
every
as
week and you still don't know.
Yeah.
Just as bad as Smithy.
So Brentford are doing okay. So that's an interesting game. That'd be interesting to see. Palace, Brighton, Fulham, Forest, Leicester versus Spurs, which talked about with Stu a little while ago. Southampton, Wolves, Bournemouth, Newcastle.
Wolves would be interesting.
Yeah.
Southampton,
Jones
he's got to go soon, isn't he?
Well, he's on a.
Yeah.
He's not up for it, is he? Let's
No.
be honest.
No, Nathan Jones, isn't
His
it?
record, his record. What is it? He's lost like 9 out of the 7 matches. He's won 1, 6 losses.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Bit
That.
like
It's a
Jurgen
hard
Klopp.
thing to go to. Yeah. That's all right. He's a nice guy, so we give him a pass. And then on Sunday, Leeds Man United again. This time at Ellen Road, and then
FA
Man
Cup?
City. No, not in the FA Cup, in the Premier League. Man City versus Villa on Sunday, and then Monday is the Merseyside derby on a Monday. That's
On a Monday
interesting.
night, yeah.
Sean Dice.
Everyone gets
Second
tanked
win.
up. Yeah, come on.
Second
come
win,
on,
yeah,
Sean.
very likely second win. Yeah.
How distraught would you be if Everton finished above Liverpool this season?
I would be distraught because I said Everton are going down. That means
How
we're
many?
going down.
What's the point? What is the points difference with Everton?
11.
11 points.
11
it?
points.
If we're above the
They're
relegation.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I say they're 11 point from 4th and 11 point from 18th.
Are you
So,
concerned about that game, Dave?
I'm concerned about every game, mate. Every single game we play.
Exactly.
I have no confidence that we're going to win.
Do we think that Sean Dice wow, was the best option for them in man? Because they were going for Bielsa, and I was just like, stay away from that.
It was the only option.
I just
Yeah,
think
we talked about it last week. I think it's a good appointment.
You just got to look at Leeds.
Bielsa's going back to Leeds, isn't he?
No, you just got to look at Leeds. They're trying to get 2 managers that are already in jobs.
One of them said
at Celtic.
Pochettino,
No,
didn't they? They said they'd get Pochettino. I was like, no, he's not
Yeah,
looking
They are
down
in
there.
absolute what?
Yeah.
Hopefully they're in turmoil for tomorrow.
Hopefully
Someone
they
mentioned
turn up
Gerrard's
tomorrow
name
and
today.
smash you.
Someone mentioned Gerrard's name for the Liverpool job today.
Liverpool job.
For
Liverpool.
the Leeds job, sorry.
I didn't know Klopp got sacked yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Okay,
It could happen. It could happen.
Breaking news.
As always, thank you very much for watching, subscribing. Please subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel. Please comment, etc. We appreciate the time for
Are
watching.
we going to
it.
discuss the fans' reaction if anyone wants to come on and do that as well?
Yeah, we can do that if you want to.
If you want to explain
Have
it.
we got it
we
nailed
haven't
down yet?
Yeah.
Well, I think we can start. I will be doing it tomorrow.
Okay, so we're going to start a new fans reaction part. So we're just going to get fans from different clubs to have a short video to go out on our socials for different things. We're going to pick a team every week. We're going to pick a game, pick one side, and then obviously get the fans' reaction. Just a short 45 seconds thing. So if you are interested, if you want to see yourself on the channel and on the socials, then get in contact. As Kev said,
Make sure you comment on the socials.
Yeah, make sure you comment on the social,
Share it,
drop us a
subscribe
message,
to it.
etc.
Need the lower league teams.
yeah.
Without any disrespect, we don't really know any lower league teams.
Not lower league. We don't want lower
mean
table.
Lower tables.
Lower table.
Small teams like Man United.
Yeah. So if you are interested, if you want to give us your views on fan reactions, then get in contact and we will get you on the channel for sure. And again, if you want to be SPADS Core of the Week. Gentlemen, thank you very much. That wraps up episode 12.